In the high towers of Zephyria, the city floated above endless clouds, its spires glinting in the soft light of 3 suns. Aliens moved quickly through the streets, their tall, slender forms gliding over the transparent walkways. They were skilled, intelligent, and confident, yet one thing puzzled them: the old stories. "They say humans are real," whispered Tarek to his companion Zyla as they peered over the city's observation deck. "Do you really believe it?" Zyla shook her head, her eyes narrowing. "No one has seen a human for 1,000 cycles. They are myths, legends meant to scare children." Tarek frowned. "But legends often have some truth. What if we are wrong?" Zyla laughed softly. "Wrong? We are the smartest species in this sector. We study every star system. Humans are fairy tales, nothing more." Despite her words, a shiver ran down Tarek's spine. Something felt different today. The city's usual hum was punctuated by strange, faint signals on the sensors. He turned to the console and stared. "Zyla," he said slowly, "look at this." She joined him, her multiple eyes scanning the readings. The signal was unlike anything they had ever recorded. Powerful energy waves moving with a speed that defied logic. This cannot be," she whispered. "It's too strong. No fleet can move this fast." Tarek's antenna twitched nervously. Could it be humans? Zyla's laugh was gone now. She only stared. "Impossible," she said. "We've always known humans are myths. They do not exist." But deep down, a seed of doubt had taken root. The signal grew stronger, pulsing rhythmically like a heartbeat. The entire city felt the vibrations. "Alert the council," Tarek commanded, his voice tight with tension. "Whatever this is, it's approaching." In the council chamber, the elders gathered. Their forms were larger, more decorated with symbols of power and knowledge. They spoke in unison, their voices echoing off the crystal walls. "Tarek, what do you report?" one elder asked. "A signal," Tarek said. "Unmatched. It could be a fleet, or something bigger, something ancient." The elders exchanged uneasy glances. "Ancient?" asked another. "Do you mean humans?" Tarek swallowed. I do not know, but the energy patterns match old descriptions. The ones in the myth archives." The council fell silent. The word human had not been spoken in cycles. Outside, the sky shimmered with a strange light. The clouds beneath the city rippled unnaturally. "We cannot panic," said the head elder finally, "but prepare the defense fleet. If this is real, we must be ready." Meanwhile, high above the city, Tarek and Zyla returned to the observation deck. The strange light grew brighter. Shapes appeared on the sensors, immense, sleek vessels unlike anything Zephyria had ever built. "They are huge," Zyla whispered, her voice trembling, "and moving toward us." Tarek felt his stomach tighten. "We always laughed at the myths, but maybe we were wrong. Humans might be real." Suddenly, the ships moved with blinding speed, closing the distance in moments. Alarms blared across the city. Citizens ran, seeking shelter in high towers. The council scrambled to issue orders, their confidence fading with each second. On the observation deck, Tarek gripped the railing. "Look at them," he said. "They are organized, coordinated." Zyla swallowed hard. "We were never ready for this. Not for humans." The city trembled as the first vessels entered the planet's upper atmosphere. Energy shields flared, casting eerie shadows across the towers. The humans had not yet attacked, but the sheer presence of their fleet was enough to strike fear into every Zephyrian heart. "Why are they not firing?" Tarek asked. "They could destroy the city in minutes." Zyla shook her head. "They are watching, studying us, learning. This is beyond war. This is purpose." Suddenly, the signal spiked violently. Tarek's console showed readings he could not comprehend. The humans were communicating. in a way that defied all known logic, sending waves of information through space itself. The legends were true, Zyla whispered, her voice almost lost in the alarm sirens. Humans are not myths. They are something more. The council room was in chaos. Orders were shouted, ships prepared for defense, but a quiet fear settled over. The elders, the humans, had arrived, and for the first time in their history, Zephyria faced a power they could not fully measure. Tarek looked back at the fleet. Ships shimmered like liquid metal, moving silently yet with unstoppable force. He felt awe, fear, and curiosity collide in his chest. "What do they want?" he murmured. "Are they here to conquer, or to teach us something else?" Zyla's eyes glowed softly, reflecting the fleet's light. "I do not know," she admitted, "but one thing is certain. We have underestimated legends for too long." As the fleet settled into orbit above Zephyria, a hush fell over the city. No one moved. No one spoke. The humans waited, quiet and unyielding, their intentions hidden behind technology and mystery. And somewhere deep inside, Tarek felt a thrill. He could not explain. Perhaps this was the moment Zephyria would finally see the truth. The myth of humans was real, and the world would never be the same. A low hum resonated through the towers. The humans had arrived. And with their arrival, a new chapter of history began, one filled with uncertainty, suspense, and a power the Zephyrians could barely imagine. The alarm sirens echoed across Zephyria like a warning drum. Every tower trembled as the human fleet hovered above the planet, their massive ships gleaming in the light of the three suns. Citizens looked up in fear, unsure whether to flee or hide. Tarek ran alongside Zyla toward the command center, his antennas twitching with tension. "We have never seen anything like this," he shouted over the alarm. "How can they move so fast, so precise?" Zyla's eyes were wide, reflecting the glow of the approaching fleet. "We need to check the sensors again," she said. "Something is off. Their speed, their formation. It's almost perfect." At the command center, the council had gathered in a circle, their voices low but urgent. "The signals are increasing," one elder said. "We can detect multiple energy, pulses far beyond our defense range." Tarek approached the console. "The humans are not attacking yet, but the patterns, they are learning, analyzing us. Every move we make, they know." Zyla's fingers danced over the holographic display. "They are not just ships," she whispered. "These are tools, or weapons. I can't tell, but they are alive with some kind of intelligence." An elder turned sharply. "Are you saying humans are controlling the energy themselves, that they can think in waves? That is impossible." Tarek shook his head slowly. "I don't know what is possible anymore. We always thought humans were myths. Maybe myths are just truths we cannot understand." Outside, the clouds swirled violently. The human ships moved in silence, forming geometrical patterns that shimmered with a strange energy. The Zephyrian fleet scrambled, deploying their fastest interceptors, but every maneuver was anticipated. Humans were not just powerful, they were careful, precise, and almost playful. "Watch this," Zyla said, pointing at the display. One of the Zephyrian interceptors moved forward, attempting to scan the human vessels. Within seconds it was, surrounded by an invisible field, lifted and gently set aside without damage. Tarek felt his stomach tighten. "They are not aggressive, not yet, but they are testing us." An elder clenched his hands. "Testing? Are we prey? Are we being judged?" Before anyone could answer, the human fleet sent a pulse through the atmosphere. The energy waves swept over Zephyria like a silent storm. Screens flickered, consoles went dark, and the citizens screamed. Yet no one was harmed. They are showing us power," Zyla said, her voice trembling. "Not to destroy, But to make a sea, we cannot ignore them. Tarek's mind raced. What do they want? If humans are real, why appear now? Why not long ago? The answer came slowly, not through words, but through action. One of the largest human ships lowered a small craft, descending toward the planet. The energy shields glowed softly as it touched the surface. A hush fell over everyone. Who will go? An elder whispered. Tarek stepped forward. I will. We need to know. We cannot stay blind while this myth, this reality, waits. Zyla grabbed his arm. It could be a trap. They might destroy the city the moment we step out. Tarek shook his head. We have no choice. If humans are real, we must understand them. The hatch opened and the air shimmered. As the small craft's door slowly lowered, a figure appeared, standing tall and calm. Tarek's breath caught. The human was unlike anything described in the old myths. Muscular but lean, with eyes that seemed to pierce through everything. No armor, no visible weaponry, yet an aura of power radiated from him. Do not be afraid, the human said, his voice deep but calm. We do not come to harm you. Tarek stepped closer, his antennae twitching nervously. You humans are real. The human smiled faintly. More real than you think, and we have come because the time has arrived for our paths to cross. Zyla watched cautiously. Why now? Why reveal yourselves after 1,000 cycles? Because your species has grown, the human replied. Strong, intelligent, yet untested. We observe, we wait, and we choose when to intervene. That moment is now. Tarek swallowed hard. Tested? How? Through observation, the human said. Through choice. Will you flee in fear, or will you face what you do not understand? The wind from the descending craft made Zephyria tremble. Citizens gathered at a distance, eyes wide with fear and wonder. The human did not move aggressively. Every motion was deliberate, controlled, as if showing Tarek and the council the difference between raw power and intelligence. Zyla whispered, almost to herself, This is beyond our myths. They are more than stories. Tarek nodded. We always thought we were the strongest, the smartest, but humans, they are something else, something we cannot measure yet. The human extended a hand. Come closer. Learn. Understand. Fear is natural, but knowledge is your ally. The council hesitated. Some wanted to flee, others wanted to attack, but Tarek stepped forward, followed by Zyla and a few others. The moment their feet touched the craft's ramp, a wave of calm energy washed over them. It was not fear, it was understanding, insight, and challenge all at once. You see, the human said, we do not act without reason. You have been strong, clever, and cautious. Now you will see what legends truly are. The human stepped back, allowing Tarek and Zyla to look inside the craft. The interior was clean, bright, and filled with strange, flowing technology that seemed alive. Screens displayed stars, planets, and patterns of energy too complex to comprehend. Tarek whispered, We thought myths were stories, but this is real. Humans are real, and more powerful than we imagined. Zyla nodded slowly. We have underestimated everything, not just humans, but the universe itself. Outside, the human fleet remained above the clouds, silent and still. Their presence alone was enough to remind Zephyria that the world they had known, the rules they had followed, were about to change. We must be ready, Tarek said quietly. Not to fight, but to understand. Zyla looked at him, eyes reflecting. Awe and fear. Yes, the myths were true, and now the real story begins. A soft hum resonated across the city. The human fleet waited. They did not attack, but they did not retreat. They were observing, patient, and aware. Every movement of the Zephyrians was a test, a question, and an answer. For the first time, Zephyria realized that legends were not lies, they were warnings, and now those legends had arrived. The sky above Zephyria was filled with a strange, shimmering light. The human fleet hung silently, each ship massive and smooth, reflecting the suns in brilliant flashes. Tarek and Zyla stood on the observation deck, their eyes fixed on the approaching vessels. They are enormous, Zyla whispered, her voice barely audible. I never imagined anything could be this big. Tarek's antennas twitched nervously. And look at how they move. No sound, no turbulence. It's like they glide on the air itself. A sudden alert on the console made them jump. Sensors showed that the human ships were splitting into smaller formations, moving closer to the city. With precision, they are surrounding us, Tarek said, completely surrounding Zephyria. Zyla's eyes widened. We always laughed at the myths, and now they are here, showing us power we cannot match. In the command center, the council was in a panic. Prepare the defense fleet, an elder shouted. We cannot let them land unchallenged. But our weapons won't even scratch them, another council member argued. Every probe shows their shields are impenetrable. They move too fast. We are unprepared. Tarek stepped forward. We have underestimated them too long, but attacking blindly will destroy everything. We must observe, learn first. The elder hesitated, then nodded. Very well, but we cannot sit idle if they strike. Outside, one of the smaller human vessels detached from the main fleet. Its sleek surface reflected Zephyria's city in tiny glimmers, almost like a mirror. Citizens stopped in their tracks, staring upward. Even from a distance, the ship seemed alive. They are watching us, Zyla said. Not attacking, just watching. Tarek leaned over the railing. We need to understand them before it's too late. They are not like anything we have faced. The small ship descended closer to the city. A hum resonated from it, not loud, but deep enough to vibrate through the towers. Then, without warning, a beam of light shot downward. Everyone froze. What? What is that? A citizen whispered. It's a scan, Tarek said quickly. They are gathering information. Every movement, every signal, nothing is hidden from them. The beam passed over the city, moving with perfect precision. It illuminated streets, towers, and citizens, yet no one was harmed. Tarek and Zyla watched as the light analyzed every detail, almost like the human ship could see into their minds. They are intelligent, Zyla murmured, not just powerful. They are thinking, studying us. Tarek nodded. We always believed humans were myths, but myths can teach lessons, and these humans are teaching one now. Suddenly, the beam paused. Over the council tower, the human's presence was unmistakable, yet calm, controlled. Tarek's stomach tightened. Are they testing us? Or warning us? Zyla shook her head. Maybe both. They want to see how we react under pressure. A soft vibration ran through the deck as another human vessel appeared beside the first. It hovered silently, almost like it was floating on invisible water. Tarek's eyes widened. How many are there? He asked, his voice tight. Too many to account, Zyla replied, and they move with one mind, as if they are connected. From inside the council tower, one elder called out, We cannot hold back any longer. Prepare the fleet for engagement. Tarek grabbed her arm. Wait. If we attack, we may provoke them. Observe first. Understand first. That is our only chance. Zyla hesitated, but nodded. I trust you. For now. The human ships moved closer, casting strange, elongated shadows over the city. From this distance, Tarek could see the scale of their technology. Shields glowing with flowing energy, hulls smooth and impossible to damage, lights pulsing in rhythmic patterns that seemed almost alive. They are beautiful, Zyla whispered, and terrifying. Tarek focused on the nearest vessel. A panel opened, and a figure emerged. Unlike the first humans they had seen, this one was taller, broader, and moved with a fluid grace. Its eyes seemed to glow faintly, reflecting intelligence beyond comprehension. "They are real," Tarek said softly. "We are not imagining this." The human raised a hand, not threateningly, but in a gesture of calm. "We do not seek war," it said. "We only wish to understand and to show you what is possible." Zyla swallowed hard. They speak our language, but not completely. It feels different, powerful." The human continued, stepping forward. "Your species has grown strong, intelligent, cautious. That is why we watch. That is why we arrive now." Tarek nodded slowly. "We always thought humans were myths, but myths are not lies. They are truths hidden in stories." A soft pulse of light ran through the city as the human ship adjusted its position. Tarek could feel it in his chest, a wave of calm mixed with challenge. "It is testing us," he whispered. Zyla frowned. "But why? Why not strike? Why not destroy us while we are weak?" "Because this is not about fear," Tarek said quietly. "It is about understanding. Humans are teaching us, showing us that power is not just destruction, but intelligence, strategy, patience." Suddenly, the human ship emitted a series of flashes, projecting holographic images into the sky. Stars, galaxies, and patterns of energy swirled above Zephyria, mesmerizing everyone. The citizens gasped. "They are showing us the universe," Zyla said, her voice trembling. "Not to scare, but to teach." Tarek nodded, awestruck. "We always thought myths were stories to frighten, but these humans, they are the real story." The humans stepped back, allowing the Zephyrians to take in the display. "Learn from what you see," it said. "Observe, prepare. One day you may stand among us, or you may fall. The choice is yours." A hush fell over Zephyria. No one moved. No one spoke. The human fleet remained in orbit, silent and patient, watching every response. Tarek realized that the myths were more than stories. They were warnings, lessons, and now, reality. "They are waiting for something," Zyla whispered. "Or someone." Tarek looked at the fleet, massive and unyielding in the sky. "We are not ready for humans," he admitted, "but we must try. The real test begins now." And above Zephyria, the human fleet glowed silently in the sun's light, a powerful reminder that legends were not lies, and that the universe had far more to reveal than anyone had imagined. The sky above Zephyria burned with light as the human fleet hovered silently, their enormous ships casting long shadows over the city. Citizens huddled in their homes, unsure if the day would end in awe or disaster. Tarek and Zyla stood on the observation deck, eyes locked on the nearest human vessels. "They've been watching us for hours," Tarek said, his voice tight, "and still nothing, not an attack, not a word." Zyla frowned. "Do you think they are testing us? Or teasing us?" Before Tarek could answer, the alarm blared. The Zephyrian fleet was moving, its ships forming defensive lines, engines roaring, weapons charging. The council had finally made a decision. Confrontation. "Wait," Tarek shouted, but his words were lost in the roar of engines. "We are not ready." Zyla grabbed his arm. "We have no choice now. They will see our aggression and respond." From the command center, an elder shouted, "Fire at will. Show them our strength." Missiles launched toward the humans, streaks of light cutting through the air. Tarek and Zyla watched, holding their breath. The first missile approached a human ship and vanished. A wave of energy enveloped it, dissolving the projectile instantly. Another Zephyrian ship fired, and the same thing happened. Not a single weapon could breach the humans' shields. "They are invincible," Zyla whispered, her voice trembling. "Our entire fleet, useless." Tarek's stomach tightened. This cannot be real. No species can be this perfect. A low hum filled the air as one of the human ships moved. It didn't dodge. It glided toward a Zephyrian cruiser. Without touching it, the ship emitted a pulse of energy. The cruiser shook violently, systems failing, weapons going offline. Then, almost gently, the human vessel moved away, leaving the cruiser unharmed but disabled. "They are not trying to kill us," Tarek said, awe mixed with fear. "They are teaching us, controlling us without destroying us." Zyla's eyes narrowed. "It's a lesson, a demonstration. But it still terrifies me." The council's voices rang out in panic. "Pull back! Pull back! We cannot fight them." Tarek turned to Zyla. "They expected this. Every move we make, they know. We are not the hunters. We are the observed." From the human fleet, another figure appeared, descending from one of the smaller ships. Its presence was commanding, calm, and unsettling all at once. It walked across the surface as if weightless, eyes glowing faintly. "Zephyrians," it said, voice clear and strong. "You wield power, yes. You are clever, yes. But you rush where wisdom should guide you." An elder stepped forward, trembling. "Why? Why not destroy us now while we are weak?" The human tilted its head. "Because your species has potential. You can learn, you can grow, but only if you understand that force without thought is meaningless." Tarek swallowed. "They are teaching, not killing. Even after we attacked." Zyla's antenna twitched. "But can we survive the next test if they choose to respond differently?" Suddenly, the human raised a hand, and the disabled Zephyrian cruiser lifted off the ground, glowing softly. Energy flowed around it, repairing. Systems in seconds, weapons recharged, engines hummed back to life, and the ship floated upright. "They fixed it," Tarek whispered. "Our fleet, they are giving us a chance." The human spoke again. "We do not act with malice, we act with purpose. You fight because it is instinct. We fight only when necessary. Strength without reason is danger. Strength with reason is control." Zyla stared at the fleet above. "Do you see how they move? Together, no collisions, no mistakes, one mind controlling many bodies." Tarek nodded. "We have studied tactics for cycles, but they operate on a level we cannot reach. Every maneuver is perfect." A sudden pulse swept over the city. Lights flickered, buildings hummed, and citizens gasped. The humans had not fired a weapon, yet the effect was undeniable. The pulse had disabled all Zephyrian sensors temporarily, leaving the fleet blind. "We cannot detect them now," an elder shouted, panic in his voice. "They could destroy us while we are blind." Tarek gritted his teeth. "That is the point. They want us to feel helpless. They want us to understand our limits." Zyla placed a hand on his shoulder. "Limits we didn't even know we had." The human figure turned to leave, ascending back to its ship. "We have shown you power," it said. "Now see clarity. Observe your fear, understand it, learn from it. Only then will you survive." As the ship rose, the fleet above rearranged itself into an elegant formation, gleaming in the sun's light. Every Zephyrian ship below was dwarfed, its systems fragile compared to the humans' flawless technology. Tarek whispered to Zyla, "We always thought humans were myths, fairy tales, but now I see the truth. They are real, and they are beyond us." Zyla nodded slowly. "We cannot fight them. Not yet. Maybe never. But we can learn. That is our only choice." The city trembled with the presence of the human fleet, yet no destruction had occurred. It was a paradox. Fear and awe intertwined. Citizens stepped outside, mesmerized by the display of controlled power, understanding for the first time that legends were more than stories. Tarek looked at the horizon, where human ships formed patterns of light that seemed almost alive. "This is only the beginning," he said softly. "The real test is coming, and we We are only learning how to stand." Xyla's eyes glimmered. "We have seen their strength, their intelligence. We must be ready, not with weapons, but with wisdom." The human fleet slowly ascended above Zephyria, hovering in perfect silence. The lesson had been given, the message clear: force without thought is meaningless, and every action would be observed. And in the hearts of every Zephyrian, a mix of awe, fear, and determination settled. They had glimpsed humans' true power. The myths were real, the legends were alive, and the story of the galaxy had just begun. The human fleet remained in orbit, silent and still, casting long shadows over Zephyria. The city had recovered from the minor disruptions caused by the humans' displays, but the tension lingered. Citizens walked carefully through the streets, whispering among themselves about the legends they had always dismissed. Tarek and Xyla stood at the observation deck, looking out at the massive vessels. "We survived their demonstration," Xyla said, her voice low. "But it feels like we are standing on the edge of something greater." Tarek nodded, eyes narrowing. "They didn't attack, yet we learned more than we ever could from books or archives. Humans are more than we imagined, and I fear what they might do next." A sudden alert on the console caught their attention. Energy readings from one of the human ships were changing rapidly. "Look at that," Tarek said. "They are preparing something." Xyla's antennae twitched nervously. "Are they going to strike now, or is this another test?" In the council chamber, the elders argued furiously. "We cannot stay idle. We must strike." "First," one shouted. "But our weapons cannot harm them," another countered. "We saw it. Missiles vanish, shields hold, our systems fail." "We are weak in comparison," Tarek intervened. "Attack will only provoke them. We need to observe and learn. If they choose to act, we must be ready and cautious." The council fell silent. Even the elders could feel the weight of Tarek's words. Outside, the human fleet shifted in formation. A hum filled the atmosphere, vibrating through Zephyria. Then, with fluid motion, the ships separated into pairs, each pair moving with purpose. Tarek and Xyla could sense intelligence behind every movement, a silent strategy unfolding in the sky. "They are preparing," Xyla whispered. "Not for destruction, but for demonstration, or communication." Tarek studied the fleet. Every detail is precise, every action controlled. Humans are not just strong, they are disciplined, purposeful. Everything we thought about strength, they redefine it. A human figure descended from one of the ships, moving gracefully toward the city. Its presence radiated authority, and the Zephyrians felt an unfamiliar sense of smallness. "You have seen our power," the human said, voice calm but firm. "You have felt your limits, but understanding strength is more than observing it. You must learn to respect it and your own." An elder stepped forward. "Why reveal yourselves? Why show us what we cannot fight? Are we to be conquered?" The human shook its head slowly. "Not conquered, tested. You have grown strong, clever, and resourceful, but strength alone is not enough. Intelligence, patience, and unity matter even more. That is why we watch. That is why we arrive now." Xyla's antennae twitched. "They are teaching, not punishing. But the lesson is clear. We are not ready." Tarek nodded. "We always believed humans were myths, legends. Now I see we have underestimated everything. We cannot fight them, not yet, maybe never." The human raised a hand and a beam of light extended over the city. The energy flowed through buildings and streets, scanning everything, analyzing, learning. Citizens froze, mesmerized by the wave of calm energy. "This is a warning," Xyla whispered. "They are showing us what they can do, without hurting us." Tarek's chest tightened. "They want us to understand our position. They are patient, but not indefinitely. One wrong move, and it could change everything. From the observation deck, Tarek and Zyla watched as the human fleet began a coordinated display. Ships moved, in elegant patterns, weaving through each other with perfect timing. Lights pulsed in rhythm with unseen commands. The humans' control over their technology was flawless, almost organic. "They move as one mind," Zyla said, awe and fear in her voice. "Every ship connected, every action synchronized." Tarek swallowed. Hard. "Our tactics, our fleet, fragmented. We fight as individuals, they fight as a unit. That is the difference." A sudden pulse ran through the city, stronger this time. It disrupted communications, froze machinery, yet caused no harm. The human presence was undeniable, powerful, precise, and unyielding. "They are showing us how fragile we are," Zyla said softly. "Not out of malice, but so we see the truth." Tarek's antennae twitched. "We thought humans were myths, but they are real. They are more than legends. They are the standard we cannot yet reach." The human figure moved closer, eyes glowing faintly. "You have seen your limits. You have felt your fear. Now consider your choices. Will you learn, or will you cling to old ways? Will you unite, or will you scatter?" An elder whispered, trembling. "We cannot compete. We can barely survive their presence." Tarek placed a hand on the elder's shoulder. "Survival is not about fighting blindly. It is about understanding, adapting, and learning. This is their lesson." The human's gaze swept over Zephyria, then lifted toward the fleet. "We do not act without reason. You have been observed. You have been tested. The time for action will come, but only when it is necessary. Prepare yourselves, not for war, but for awareness." Zyla looked at Tarek. "Awareness. That is the only way to survive humans. Not strength, not weapons, but wisdom." Tarek nodded. "Slowly. We underestimated everything, the myths, the stories, the legends. They were warnings. Now they are reality. We must remember this, or we will fail." Outside, the human fleet arranged itself in a final formation, pulsing with energy and perfect synchronization. The display was not aggression. It was a message. Power and intelligence combined, a demonstration of what true strength meant. Tarek whispered almost to himself, "The real challenge begins now. We have seen humans' might. We have felt our limits, but we have also seen what we must become." Zyla placed a hand on his arm. "We will survive, not because we can match them, but because we will learn, adapt, grow." The human figure slowly ascended back to its ship, vanishing as the fleet shifted above the clouds. Silence fell over Zephyria, broken only by the soft hum of its own defenses. Citizens stepped outside cautiously, their eyes wide with wonder and fear. Tarek and Zyla stood together on the observation deck, staring at the retreating fleet. "We are not ready for humans," Tarek said softly, "but we must prepare. That is the only way forward." Zyla nodded. Legends were not lies. They were truth waiting to be revealed. And now, we know. Above Zephyria, the human fleet glimmered in. The sun's light, a reminder that myths were real, lessons were alive, and the story of the galaxy was far from over. The suns of Zephyria reflected off the human fleet as it shifted silently above the clouds. Citizens stared upward, hearts pounding with awe and fear. Every tower trembled as the massive ships moved into position for the first time. Not observation, not demonstration, but action. Tarek and Zyla stood on the observation deck, their eyes fixed on the descending vessels. "This is it," Tarek whispered. "They are coming down. We will finally see humans on our world." Zyla's antennae twitched nervously. "I've waited for this moment, but I am terrified. What if they mean harm?" Tarek shook his head. "They have given us every chance to understand them. If they attack now, we have already failed. But I think they are here for more than destruction. The council chamber was quiet, tension hanging in the air. Elders whispered, debating whether to deploy. Defenses or surrender to observation, none moved. They all knew their weapons could not harm the humans. A low hum resonated across the city as the first human vessel descended through the clouds. Its surface shimmered like liquid metal, smooth and reflective. Citizens held their breath as the ship landed gently in the central plaza. The energy shields dissipated, leaving the craft resting lightly on its landing legs. Tarek and Zyla stepped forward cautiously, watching as the hatch opened. The air seemed to change, charged with calm authority. A human figure emerged, tall and imposing, yet calm. Muscles rippled under a simple, sleek uniform. No weapons were visible, but power radiated from the figure like heat from a sun. "You have faced fear and survived," the human said, voice deep and steady. "You have seen strength and understood limits. Now you will see purpose." Tarek swallowed hard. "Why now? Why come to our world after centuries of myth?" The human stepped forward, eyes scanning the city. "Because you are ready. Not for war, but for understanding. Strength alone is not enough. Wisdom, unity, and respect for life are what make a species endure." Zyla whispered to Tarek, "They are showing us the way, not through force, but by presence, by example." The human lifted a hand and energy flowed from the ship, illuminating streets, towers, and citizens. The flow of light was not destructive, it was gentle, almost teaching, revealing the beauty of technology and precision beyond comprehension. An elder trembled. "We cannot match this. Not in 1,000 cycles." Tarek nodded slowly. "No, but we do not need to. We need to learn, adapt, survive." A second human appeared from another ship. It was taller, broader, eyes glowing faintly. "We do not conquer," it said, calm but firm. "We offer understanding. We offer a choice. Fight us, and you will fail. Learn from us, and you may survive and grow stronger." Zyla took a cautious step forward. "You could destroy us easily, but you choose not to." The first human nodded. "Force without reason is meaningless. Power without purpose is empty. We have watched, waited, and prepared. The time for fear is over. The time for awareness has arrived." The citizens, once terrified, began to step forward slowly. They saw humans not as invaders, but as teachers. Tarek felt a strange mixture of awe and relief. The legends were real, but they were not just stories of destruction. They were stories of possibility. A sudden wave of energy pulsed outward from the human ships, scanning every corner of Zephyria. The buildings, the streets, the people, it all shimmered with understanding, revealing weaknesses and strengths. The Zephyrians felt themselves exposed yet unhurt. "They are showing us everything," Tarek said softly. "Our strengths, our flaws, everything." Zyla's voice trembled. "It is overwhelming, but not cruel. They want us to see ourselves clearly." The first human extended a hand toward Tarek and Zyla. "Come closer. Understand not only us, but yourselves. The legend spoke of power, yes, but power without thought is danger. You have survived fear. Now survive understanding." Tarek stepped forward, heart pounding. "We have underestimated humans for centuries. Myths, stories, warnings. And now, the reality is beyond comprehension." Zyla followed him, anticipation and fear mingling in her chest. "We must remember this moment," she said softly. "It will shape everything we do." As they approached, the human ship's interior glowed softly. Screens displayed stars, galaxies, and energy patterns, moving in ways that seemed alive. The Zephyrians realized the humans' power was not only in strength, but in intelligence, unity, and foresight. "You see," the human said, "true strength is measured not by weapons or force, but by knowledge, strategy, and purpose. You have survived fear, but now you must survive understanding. Tarek nodded slowly, feeling both small and inspired. We have learned more in these hours than in 1,000 cycles of study, Zyla whispered, and the humans, they are not finished. Their presence alone is a lesson we will never forget. The first human turned back to the fleet, signaling. Ships lifted slightly, hovering with effortless precision. We leave you now with a choice: adapt and grow, or remain blind to the truths around you. The galaxy is vast, full of wonders and dangers alike. Only those who learn will survive. As the fleet ascended, the humans' energy left traces of light across the city, a reminder of their arrival. The citizens gazed upward, awe and fear mingling. In equal measure, Zephyria had changed forever. Tarek turned to Zyla. We are not ready to match humans, maybe never, but we can learn, prepare, and adapt. That is our only hope. Zyla placed a hand on his shoulder. Legends were never lies. They were warnings, lessons, truths, and now we have seen them with our own eyes. The fleet vanished into the clouds, leaving the city trembling yet alive. The suns reflected off the towers, glittering as if celebrating a new chapter. Zephyria would survive not by matching the humans, but by understanding them, by learning what it meant to be strong, wise, and united. Tarek looked at the sky, now calm. Humans are real, more than myths, and the galaxy has just opened its doors to us. Zyla smiled faintly. The legends were true, and now the story of Zephyria begins again.